Hello and welcome back, Josh, Sam, and anyone else who's watching to Lviv and Let Die. Things have progressed, and we are now a year further on in the football world of 2071. You will note that in the last video I said I would wrap up last season, either with the cup final or with the last game of the season. Let's not beat about the bush. I didn't do either of those things. The problem being that I had an unexpected activation whilst on call at work, and therefore needed something to do whilst listening in to interminable conference calls. So I played on, and the reason I did that and I felt happy with that was because of a thing I will show you in a moment. But here is what happened in last season's table. We dropped 2 wins, we dropped 2 draws, and we won 26. So fairly close to a perfect season there. 146 goals for 14 against, goal difference of 92, which I think is more than all of the other positive goal differences in the league added together. So just a bit of fun. 80 points, that's setting a new record. Our last record was 79 points. And just to sort of keep you up to date, currently we are on course to better that. But let's just quickly look at our fixtures from last year. No, don't look at that yet. So yeah, we left each other when we got knocked out of the cup by Dortmund. That was after my, as was described, my editing folly. I then did this video here, and we're going to do the equivalent video this time around. But this time, hopefully, it will be a little bit more exciting. So after that, we went on an insane run in the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, one of them a cup game, without conceding a goal, and with scoring all the goals. It was very nice. We then followed that with a 2-0 away loss to Dnipro. At this point, only our second, well, in fact, not just at this point, in the season, only our second loss of the season, before following that up with what can only be described as a horrifyingly poor 3-2 home loss in the cup to Dynamo Kiev, who then did not even go on to win the fucking cup. They lost in the final to Dnipropetrovsk. Our defeat to Dynamo in the semi-final of that competition means an end to a 1, 2, 3, 4 and almost 5 season run without loss in that competition. Big disappointment, although I think we've only equaled the most amount of wins in this competition in a row. So we now have to continue on until at least 2076 in order to better that achievement. Currently, we are in the quarterfinals where we will play Olympic Donetsk. Notable only this season by the fact that Avangard Kramatorsk, who are non-league, so even lower than the first division, hosting Shakhtar Donetsk. Anyway, that's just the way it is. Basically, we stormed to the league title. We unfortunately lost out in our Ukrainian Cup, and we were knocked out on away goals by Borussia Dortmund in the league last year. So that brings us to this season. Run back to the top, please. We won the Super Cup 3-0. We beat Dnipropetrovsk 3-0, pretty easy, meaning that I think we've won this now 5 years in a row, 6 years in a row, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which is a delight. I'm very excited by it, and it makes me very happy that we are the clear longest running winner of this thing. We haven't won the most, but we're definitely on the longest streak that's ever been. So that was good. That at least made up for something. We then immediately, so my attempt at the moment has been to win the league and win all the games, or at least be undefeated. I accidentally had our second choice goalkeeper, Ariel Sandoval, in goal. He conceded 3, and we lost 3-2 on our first day of the season to Krivibas Kryvyi Rih, which means that it will have to be next season when we go unbeaten. That's fine, I suppose. Mainly because we then followed that up with all the wins in the league. Every single game we've played since then, except for a 0-0 draw with Metalist, was a win. The Champions League has similarly been fairly, let's just go like this. Not sure why Europa League is actually in there. Where's the... Right. So for some reason I can't filter for the Champions League, which is a competition we are in, but I can filter for the Europa League, which we are not in. So anyway, you can see the various points where I thought maybe I'll record, but then never had a chance. So I thought maybe we'll record these ones, but no, we absolutely comfortably walked past Groningen in the third qualifying round. Clearly something has happened, so I wasn't ever notified about it, but clearly something's happened to our reputation in terms of the Ukrainian league, because we now have 2 teams who qualify for the Champions League, which previously it was only 1, although at that point we were getting 1 directly into the group stages, but still things are improving. We then beat CSKA Sofia 8-0 on aggregate, including a 0-0 home leg where I think I played the equivalent, the European equivalent of the kids. Let's just see there. Yes, so Chumachenko, famous for his run in our cup competitions for the last few years. And similarly, we had Shahat as a younger player rather, and Ivan Moreno is only about 18. So yeah, there you see, we didn't play as strong a team as we could, and we went through 8-0. That's fine. But then we got drawn in what can only be described as a fairly tough group. And then you can see we absolutely walked it. So Atletico Madrid were the top seeds, Sporting were the second seeds, we were the third seeds, and Bucharest, unsurprisingly, were the bottom seeds. We went through with 6 wins from 6, 18 points, the best team in the group stages of the Champions League this season. Let's look through our results. We had a 5-0 win over Dinamo Bucharest, 2 goals from Rosic, Planinsek, who is coming on nicely, Belanja and Determined Henry. We will discuss signings, so there might be a couple of players who you've not heard of. Apologies. We then beat Atletico Madrid 2-1, having, I think, come from behind. Yes, indeed. Rafa Narvaez, but then 2 goals and a late winner. That was a free kick from Determined Henry. Put us through 2-1 winners. We then beat Sporting 3-1 at home, and then beat them 3-2 away. That was a game where we went 1-0 up early doors. They equalised. They went ahead. We equalised, and then Rosic scored in the last minute, and then gets sent off even more in the last minute. Nice. We then beat Dinamo Bucharest 4-1, and we wrapped up the Champions League group stages with a 2-0 win over Atletico Madrid. What a season, and what an opponent to get in the first knockout round. Our old friends, Swindon Town Football Club. So this video will encapsulate 3 games: Swindon Town, Odessa, and then the home leg against Swindon. It's going to be fun. It's probably going to be a defeat, but we will at least beat Odessa in the middle, so that's fine. Let's quickly look at signings for the last couple of years, just in case we've missed anything out. Let's just check. Did we sign anyone new last year? No. So all these players you should have seen us bring in. All these players you should have seen go out. Maybe 1 or 2 of them. No, you definitely did. Players who came in afterwards, none of them are particularly important. All of these are players that I think I would have explained to you, yes, because I'm looking at the dates there. So let's move on to this season. A lot of players went out. Yes, a lot of players went out. Right, so we lost Angel Paredes. He is a former goalkeeper of ours. Excellent player, to be perfectly honest. But he came in for £800,000 and was sold for 3.1 million immediately. And that's because Santiago Mia, who's in goal at the moment, is really, really good. So lots of money made on him. Great. We lost Milan Djuric. He's gone off to Sheffield United, and now looking at him doesn't look as good as I remember him being, but he was an absolute sensation for us. Just continually getting better, except for that season, but continually getting better. Sold for £8.5 million to Premier League Sheffield United, where he has done badly. What a waste of money. We then loaned out Pedro Corti. He's just a youth player, no real good. He's only 20, so we'll probably make some money off of him. Anyway, and then this guy, Tubi, as well, the guy I signed from, I think, them last year, has gone back on the loan to them. We sold Will Nerding. I don't know if you remember him, but a couple of years ago I just randomly signed a striker off of Leicester. Sold him for 150k to Newcastle. They're idiots. He's rubbish. Good luck to him. And we then sold Daniel Villa. He was our defensive midfielder who I brought in only that season for £4 million, for £9 million to Besiktas, where he has done, in fairness, very well. Then there were a few players who went out on freeze, even more there. Dimba, the Brazilian young striker, has gone off to play in in Russia for Dynamo Bryansk. Slight loss taken on him, although actually I don't think it was, because I think Sadova paid money for his loan, but you don't get that recorded on this, unlike on Samsung where it shows you how much money was paid for them. So there we go. We also sold Tore Jorgensen. Jorgensen, having played for I think 3 or 4 years, in fact only 2 years, a very efficient signing. He came in, did really well for 2 seasons, lots of goals, lots of assists, good rating, and then we made a profit on him, and he was 30 years old. So why not? Take that. Absolutely brilliant. Great stuff. We also loaned out a few players there. See, now, again, you'll see here, it says a loan fee, but if we look at his history, it doesn't actually tell you the loan. So that's his second season on loan at Godoy Cruz. He's improving, and we'll be able to sell him for some money. Similarly, Gaston Fernandez. Similarly, Gerardo La Espada. Similarly, Mario Sichla, or whatever his name is. We then loaned a couple of other players, and we sold Peter Petrick. It's probably Peter Petrick. I signed him not long ago for £150,000. He spent last season on loan at the Slovak First Division, and now he's gone off to Shinnik in Russia for £1 million. So that's fine. He's not that good. Lovely old job. We sold Edgar Kupnik, a player who I signed on a free off of Kiel. Sold him back to a second division side, VfL Bochum, for £80,000, where he has done badly. So great work. We're making money off these players, even if it's only a little bit. We then also sold the goalkeeper who lost us our only game this season, Ariel Sandoval. I signed him for £900,000 a number of years ago and have made £750,000 profit. Nice. It's also bolstering a team in our division where he has done well-ish, but we get £1 million off a team in our league for a player who's not good enough to play for our first team. So great. And then we've loaned out a couple of other players, Archimede Donati and Yuri Kontsedalov. He will probably make it into the first team here. He's a good old player. Signed him not long ago for £1 million, and now he's gone back to the Premier League to play in Volga. Now, players we brought in, most of these are young players. I'm not going to go through them. I'm going to go through the key ones. So that would be the expensive £7 million signing from Dynamo Kiev of Dmitro Burdayini. He's a really good young player, not great at crossing, although I've got him training on that at the moment. As you see, he's up to 4. Nice. But it also weakens a relatively strong rival in the league. Played well for them last year. He's playing well for us this year, and he will probably play for us for another 10 years unless we find someone better. So I don't mind having spent that much money, because he will definitely give us it back, even if we don't actually sell him. Other players who've come in and we've actually used are few and far between. The other player who I've spent a lot of money on is the replacement for Tore Jorgensen. That would be Luciano Bostal. Luciano Bostal here, a decent left attacking midfielder, comes in from Lithuania, where he was playing before. He is playing nicely. He's also sort of allowing the other left midfielder we have to develop, and they sort of slot in and out nicely. I also mentioned that we spent a lot of money on Dmitro Burdayini, but considering he was replacing Milan Djuric, who we actually saved money on him. So just saying, great signing. And no one else here is ready yet for the first team. All these players are in the youth team, or they've, I think, already been loaned out. So one, at least, of these guys came in and immediately went back out again. I think it was Who was it? It was Roberto Gonzalez. My second most recent signing, 1.2 million, has gone off to our new feeder club, Gornik Zabrze. And you will have noticed that, he's gone to Lechia Gdansk, and Bakur has left the club on loan to Gornik, where he will be playing in the Ekstraklasse. Nice. So that is it for admin things. I see we're already 15 minutes in, so let's get this thing cracking. Our first game of the video at what should be called Wheatland Park, but is actually called the Swindon Stadium. In fact, it's not even called the Swindon Stadium, it's called Swindon Stadium. But we are going to have a good game. We had a decent, slightly truncated little mini mid-season thing. Unfortunately, Daniel Rosic is out suspended, so we're going to have to just go with the flow in terms of players we have available. But let's see. We also have to make sure that we do not accidentally leave in some youth players, because I had to in the last friendly put some youth players in place of the first teamers, who some of whom were on, I think they were on international duty. So there we go. Right. So for example, none of these guys are going to start. We're going to have Big Mick, in he comes. We're going to have Jean Kamara. We're going to have Burdayini. We're going to have Ashkenazi is going to join the side. We're also going to bring in, who else have we got? Where's Musa Kurt? He's suspended. So Gonzalez plays. That's fine. Chimichenko. Godoy comes in, and now let's look at our midfield. Nice and nice. Thanks, guys. Gogua comes in. I've signed a replacement for either him or Admiral Herbert for this summer, so that's great. Determined Henry rejoins the starting 11. Ibrahim Shahata will come on for Bostel at some point. Ronnie Vera comes onto the bench, and Pandagotu joins as well. He's slightly more fit, because I think he's so he's just going to play. We are unfortunately, as I mentioned, missing Rosic, but other than that, this is pretty much our starting 11. And Planinsek actually has more league goals than Rosic does this season, so we'll see what we can do. There's not very many players still playing for Swindon who used to play for me when I was their manager. That said, John Menzo is one of them. Absolutely sensational finisher, 18 finishing, 19 on composure. He's just the best. He has something like 350 league goals for Swindon since I signed him from Ajax for 10 million all those years ago. He's a damned hero. 160 caps for the Netherlands, 121 goals. He's just ridiculous. He also scored 24 goals in 41 appearances for the under-21s. He's mad. They've also got this guy, Ikechukwu. Anyway, he came through at Swindon, and he's a decent player. Nice player, decent shape on him there, a little bit good. I don't think anyone else is anyone we'd recognise. Gustavo in goal. He's 27, decent signing for them off of Evian. Anyone else? Oh, actually, no. I think I signed... Oh, no. Is that the guy? So I might have signed him as well just before we left Swindon. I think I might have signed Haruna Agbo. Anyway, he's gone on to be a bit of a player. So yeah, well done them. I don't really want to go through too many of their team because I bet all these guys are excellent. Although Wilson Porras is not excellent, so there's potential. We are up against it. They are, I think, only in 5th or 6th in the Premier League this season, so they're not the best side in the world. And we have beaten Atletico, who will be 3rd or 4th in the Spanish division. That said, I don't have that much hope. I just hope that we have a decent game and we play a little bit. You know, we have some fun. We maybe score an away goal and make it a little bit interesting. Unlike the game against Dortmund last year, we have the first chance. Unlike the game against Dortmund last year, where we had a fun home game, but because we didn't get any away goals or anything in the second leg, unfortunately there wasn't very much tension in that second leg. We just went out with a fairly whimpery 0-0 draw. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Swindon, obviously a good team. They are, as the pre-match conference was at pains to point out, 4 times winners of this competition, which is obviously insane. Only 2, maybe 3 of those came with me as the manager, but I think it might have only been 2. Bellinger now tackles away, and it's 9 minutes gone. So you'll notice two things from this video that are different from last time. One is that I have added the match report thing here because I like to sometimes read how it tells you what's going on. It gives you a little bit more of an idea of what the players are doing. And I do not have a squeaky chair. But I do have a sneeze. There it was. So I did a sneeze, but I do not have a squeaky chair anymore. I have a new chair. The old one broke, possibly because I didn't realize how to unlock the lean function. So I think I'd been leaning on the locked bar. Oh, Menzo just cleared off the line for 3 years, and eventually that snapped. So I got a new chair. Now then, Bellinger. Oh, Zaid tackles, and Bellinger has fouled, trying to win the ball back in the middle of the park. 26 minutes gone, and I think I'm gonna have to sneeze again. Yep, hang on. And we're back. Head from was that a corner? I didn't even see. I had my eyes closed whilst I sneezed energetically. Gustavus. Ball. Big Mick, what are you doing, brother? Big Mick gets a yellow card. Oh dear. I feel like there's... didn't I have a video where I sneezed uncontrollably like sort of 10 times before? I think that might have happened before. Oh God, we managed to just about clear. Bellinger doesn't win the ball. Agbo gets there ahead of him. Kalau hits the crossbar. Unbelievable. And Maya manages to get there ahead of Ikechukwu. Now then, Bellinger has the ball on the right of their box, tackled nicely by Escobar, and Escobar now can break with the ball. Sako now has it, plays in through Ikechukwu, and Ikechukwu scores. Swindon 1, Lviv 0. Let's hope that we can get a goal back. Just one, maybe for the away goal experience. Interesting set of goal scoring names there, Nwachukwu and Ikechukwu. Obviously Cousins, one away goal for Real Madrid. Oh, the ball comes in. Agbo clears. Big George and Mick. Gogua has the ball now, plays it over to Gonzalez and could put through Henry. He does. Determined Henry, can he cross? No, Gonzalez has the ball. Gonzalez shoots, and I think that's gone off of our man. It has. Gonzalez is... So a centre-back shot goes off at another centre-back and out for a goal kick. Classic Lviv. Total football. So apparently it's not a very fun game to be watching based on what the commentator was just saying there. I'm going to tell the guys calmly that there's a lot more to come. They look a bit wound up and either nervous or overly fired up, so it's hard to tell exactly what to say to all of them. When I said it gives you a little bit of description of what happened, that obviously didn't happen for the Ikechukwu goal there. Just literally just Ikechukwu goal. Cool, thanks man. Anyway, Alfredo Escobar fouls, and now Gonzalez has a free kick in the centre circle, and we play it all the way back to our goalkeeper. Nice. Budeni gives it to Bostel. Bostel to Budeni. Bostel has it, and he was offside. You could see it was offside. It was very clear. 47 minutes. Okay, Kamara now gives it to Henry. Gogua gives it to Kamara again. We play nice little triangles. Panda go to with the ball. Can he cross? No, he cuts back, turns around. Determined Henry's shot is way over the bar. And what used to be the Stratton Bank in the old county ground probably swallowed that ball up because it's such a huge stadium. Oh, 64 minutes gone. What's happening? That moved suddenly very fast. Let's look at the team. Okay, so we do have a bit of tired legs in midfield. Spring on Kofi Donkor. Good name. I will never not think that's a good name. Mick is not playing well, but I don't think Gonzalo Godoy is going to do any better. Similarly, we don't really have a striker that's going to come on and change things up either. Let's see what Panda Go-To can do. The good thing is Odessa are dreadful, so the game that we have in between, the league game that we have, should be relatively simple. Donkor comes on, 67 minutes. It doesn't seem to have made much for our attacking play. Although Determined Henry's ball comes in, it's straight into the hands of Gustavo, the goalkeeper for Swindon Town. His ball forwards, Gonzalez wins. Bellinger is able to chase down Zaid, but he wasn't, in fact. Oh, Menzo 3,900-year-old John Menzo manages to outpace our player, and his cutback, their shot goes over the bar. Determined Henry playing well. We're going to take him off for Ronnie Vera. And do we have anything that we can really do here? Maybe we let Gonzalo Godoy play. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's hard to really say that any of these moves are going to do much for us. We've got Rosic out and Musaka out, so I guess the home leg, that should help us. Fenton, bloody hell, Fenton has a no, he doesn't. Sarko tries to play through. Oh, Giebelen. No, don't head it on. They always do that. Why would you fucking do that? Fenton plays back to Agbo. They're still playing this formation at home. Seems. Oh, Kamara's injured. Great. Of course, he has to come off as well. Nice. Just after I made my last substitution. Cheers. Oh, game. Why do you always have to do this? All right. So we've lost him. What do we do? I guess. I mean, it's nothing like an actually good plan, but it's the best we can do. And if we leave ourselves with a missing right back, they'll make the most of it. Let's just try and get out of here with a 1-0 loss. John Menzo makes way. Vera puts the ball through. Pleninsek. Could he get there? No. Vera gives it down to Bellinger. Oh, he was offside and his effort was terrible. Well, that's fair enough. Gustavo Godoy beaten in the air. Badeni gives it back to Maya. Maya's ball towards Borstel. Headed down. A 1-0 loss we'll take, particularly given we played at least 10 minutes with only 10. So, yeah, not bad, not the best. We did have one chance. That was in the 3rd minute, I think. 3 of our players are in the top scorers for the Champions League this season, and that's what I like to see. Okay, so we lost 1-0. Nwachukwu scored 2 for Real Madrid. I think we have a chance at doing something against them when we bring them back to our place. And he's only out for 4 or 5 days, so that's not bad. Let's attend the press conference. Players worked hard. Ewan Dougal. Yeah, had a good game. Ewan Dougal. Right, now let's hope this doesn't take literally forever to sim, because it takes roughly 15 minutes per game, which means we're going to probably hit an hour, probably even longer, which is, I'm sure that's not. I was trying to find the video that I'd uploaded, and I have both the one that I didn't upload because it was the one I couldn't edit properly, and the one I did upload is episode 70. They're both called episode 70, but the error, like the non-edited one, is episode 70.1, and I couldn't remember exactly which one it was, so I tried to find it on the YouTube channel itself by searching for the YouTube channel, and I could not find the YouTube channel. It took me ages by just searching Comrade Popadov, so no wonder we don't have thousands and millions of views. Right, let's crack on then, please. 17 days until we play Odessa. What? How is that even true? 17 days? Are you fucking serious? God damn it. Alright, well, hopefully it skips through a bunch of days and doesn't keep just giving us 2 day. Stop it. No doubt. It'll be 17 days until our next league game. And then, like 5 minutes after that one finishes, before we have to kick off again against Swindon. This is a problem with this league. It makes it very tough. I think once you get through this particular round, it's the same in both cup competitions, in the Europa League and in the Champions League. Once you get through this particular round, it gets a little bit easier because you're running those games against your other league games, and therefore it starts to build up a bit of momentum if you're lucky. But this way round, like a gap of 17 days, you might as well just not. You might as well put a friendly in between there. If I'd noticed, I might have put a friendly in there. I thought it was only 10 days because I thought it was the 27th we played that game and not the 17th. Bloody hell. Okay. What do these guys say? Yes, go on then. No, stop trying to tell me to do that. Can we please get to the next game? Andrei Chumachenko. Whoa, what a game that was. Palermo 7, Rayo 6. And there was not even a goal past the 80th minute. Man, that's a fun game. I mean, Palermo was 6-0 up at half time in that game. Or not 6-0, maybe 6-1 up in half time. And they ended up winning 7-6. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's amazing. I've never seen anything like that before. We had our youth facilities upgraded. I have now got top youth facilities, and it shows, I think, because I noticed that one of our, it was something like a 17-year-old goalkeeper. Once they turn 17, they can have the professional contract. And he came through, and it got to his birthday, and it said to me, "Oh, you can offer to give him a professional contract." So I looked how good he was, and he was okay. I mean, for a Ukrainian team who was sort of maybe relying on their own homegrown players, maybe he'd be pretty good. But considering we have far better that we've signed for far less, I decided to let him go. But it turns out that, because I looked at him and I thought, oh, he must have been one of those players that I just randomly buy and then hope to sell on. But no, he was actually one that came through in our youth system, and he was decent, like half decent. So that makes me think that soon in the future we will start to produce our own good youth players, which would be nice. It'd be nice to have some more Ukrainians in the team. I don't think we have very many at all. That's why I signed the left back, Budinyi. Oh my God, Spas Stefanov. Come on then, guys. 21st of February, that's great. We're going like one day at a time. Only the 17 days to sim, so that'll be 15 minutes on its own before we actually get round to... Wow, that's an expensive biro. Hua, hua, hua. Come on, game. Play ball. You know what I want. Oh, dear me. Excuse me. It's a little bit late. This is the first time I've recorded in the semi-evening / nighttime for a very long while. Yeah. I'm wondering now that I've started to hack my way through this long gap, maybe it would have been better to have just done the roundup and the Swindon game, and then in the next video do Odessa and the Swindon game. Let's see where it finishes. 22nd. Okay, yeah, we're going to do that then. So what we're going to do then, sorry for the slightly slapdash nature of this, we still have so many days to go. It's still 13 days until we get to play Odessa, and then, yes, as I said, 4 days before we Swindon after that. What we'll do is we'll end here, and then we'll be back for the Odessa and Swindon games in the next video. So, guys, thanks then, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!